Walking these streets, shadows fall, lost in a world, echoes call, searching for light, voices true, St. James Church in the heart of the blue. Glorify God, nurture all, share the gospel, hear the call. That is what we do at St. James, breaking chains, singing new names, pushing through the night.
Yep.
Okay, awesome. Well, welcome to our 75th anniversary interviews. We're here with Kynan and Barbie and Luke, or Kynan Pennington, today to talk about their history in the church and their memories and stuff. And so how did you guys become members of the church?
My mom brought us here. I think I was 5 years old. So I've been at the church a long time.
Oh, okay. Wow.
I'm a married-in, so
Okay.
I just came because of her.
Oh, okay. Okay. So did you go to church before, or?
My journey has been very interesting.
Oh,
So I grew up Catholic,
Okay.
and then I fell away for a very long time trying to figure out what was right,
Sure.
and then I get here, and it is.
Okay. Now, when did you guys get married?
February something, 2012.
February 19th,
Yeah.
2012.
Then
It's funny.
Somewhere in there.
Somewhere in there, yeah.
he's kind of the girl of the relationship, where he remembers all of that stuff.
I do.
Sorry, I didn't.
No, it's okay. It's all right. I
I'm like,
remember all the
I don't
dates.
know how long we've been married.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Feels like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So, what positions and things have you done in the church since you've been here?
Not really a lot. So for me, I grew up and I was in the glory days with Phil Roselle in youth group. Peggy has always been really big into youth group, and man, we pulled some pranks on poor Peggy when we, I don't know if I want this in the interview. But my class in particular, we tried to make her think that her house got robbed one time. So we overturned things and took the silverware, I think she said. So that one wasn't a great prank, but we did toilet paper her house also. While the great part was our house had this big bay window, and she was having a dinner party when we were there.
Oh.
So they were all sitting in this big bay window, and I'll protect my cohorts, but there were a couple of us there to do it, and every time they moved, we'd drop down in the yard. We never got caught, but she knew it was us.
That's funny. That's funny. So,
The only thing I've done are the nativity walks.
right,
Yeah.
you've been King Herod.
A couple times, yeah.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah, lots of fun though.
It is a lot. That nativity walk is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are like the dueling Herods.
Yeah. Both of us. Yeah. I keep thinking about doing something else, and I end up doing it again. So, now how many kids do you have? You got Luke and.
And we've got 3 girls. Kenzie's the oldest, and then Luke and Ellie are twins, and they're 10 now, and
Wow.
Sophie is 8.
Sophia's 8. Okay. Wow. Pretty incredible. So, what are some people that had an impact on you here at St. James?
You want to start?
No, you go ahead.
Well, my mom
Yes.
would be huge for me.
Linda? Yes,
yeah.
Yes.
She obviously is the one who brought me here, and Graham, for sure. Phil Roselle. For me, Peggy was huge. She was always that, going through the teenage years, she was kind of the non-mom voice, if that makes any sense.
Sure.
Joyce Roselle, I love her. There are just so many good people here. And I don't know if this is an appropriate time to talk about it, but I mean, Kynan and I, when our kids were younger, so I had been in church, and then I worked for Meyer for 10 years, and during that time, I was always working Sunday mornings,
Sure.
for 10 years. So while it was my church growing up, it sort of felt like it became my mom's church during that period of time because I could never get to church. And then when we started having kids, we were like, do we want to go somewhere else?
Oh, sure.
For a bigger youth group, because we had a solid youth group at the time I was in. And so that was really weighing on our hearts. But the story I want to tell, I guess, about that is when my mom got sick, the church stepped up in such a huge way. His mom stayed at our house, and she's blind and doesn't cook.
Oh,
so she was taking care of the kids for me. Kynan was deployed during that time. And just going and taking care of Mom, because Mom and Dad and Graham all got sick at the same time. The church ladies were bringing dinner over to the house every single night so that I didn't have to cook. And I was getting checks in the mail from members of the church for like gas money or whatever to get up to see Mom, and just the outpouring. One specifically, I know there were so many people who did stuff, but Joyce Roselle one night brought tacos to not only feed my crew, but also Audra's crew.
Oh, wow.
So in the midst of like all the chaos that we're going through, there was a moment in there of just peace and a time of family. So after we went through that, Kynan and I were just like, these are the people we want our kids to be raised around. Mm-hmm. So we made a choice then and there that this was going to be our church, and we were just going to do whatever we could to build the youth group through our kids. Mm-hmm. And we have Aaliyah, who comes to church with us a lot, and then Liz and Drake have started coming. So, I mean, we're trying to do our part.
Yeah, we have that. I know some people bringing people.
Yeah, we're done providing our own people, but
yeah,
we'll bring in. I think the hardest part for me is to single out certain people, because I had mentioned earlier that I grew up Catholic, and then I fell away from the church for a very long time, and then when I started finding my faith again, I had a hard time finding a place where I was going to settle, because I found a lot of churches were not as comfortable to be in.
Oh, okay.
And that's one thing that I absolutely love about this church. It's just, it doesn't matter who you are. If you step foot in this house, everybody is so welcoming and they want you there. And it doesn't matter if you miss a Sunday or two because you have drill or whatever. It doesn't matter. Every time they see you, it's just, they all are just so happy you're there. And they put up with my kids very well. Oh, they get kind of crazy. We cringe in the back going, ugh.
Your kids are great. Your kids are fun.
So. They are. We think so too.
Anything else on that?
My grandpa. So he was my Sunday school teacher when we were in our teenage years, I think around 13. And it was in this very room where he had Sunday school. And there was a decent sized group of us, but I will never forget this Sunday school lesson that he taught. He walked into the room, silent as could be, and then he slammed the Bible down onto the table, and the room just went silent. And his lesson that day was, I'll never forget it. It was about the Bible and how you're going to go through your life and people are going to tell you, oh, that's Old Testament, that doesn't apply anymore. And so you'll rip that page out of the Bible, or you'll read a verse and you'll think, oh, I don't agree with that. So you rip that page out of the Bible and you just continue doing that day after day. And all you're going to be left with is the cover.
Oh.
And then he said, and in your life, that's what you'll be, a shell.
Oh, wow.
Based on.
Really good lesson. That's a really good lesson.
I've never forgotten it in all these years. And he was a tough guy, but his way of getting to people and helping them to understand, what the Bible meant. And that is another thing that I've always really, really cherished about this church is the answers are always in the Bible. Mm-hmm. And it's there's no other authority. It is the Bible. And in all these years that I've been coming here, that has never changed about this church. And I appreciate that so much, and it's such a good foundation for my kids too.
Okay. So what are some events or anecdotes that stand out in your mind during your time here?
I don't know if I can say this one. You can edit it out later if you need to. It was during Sue Davis. She was a wonderful pianist.
Oh,
The
okay.
dueling pianos.
The dueling pianos. So there was one Sunday at church that there were two pianists, Beth and also Sue. And it came to the song Amazing Grace. And apparently Beth was supposed to do it. I don't know, but nobody's doing anything. So my mom's like, Sue, go play. And Sue's like, I'm not supposed to play this one. And nobody's doing anything. So finally Sue goes up and starts playing. Well, then I think Beth realized, oh, shoot, I was supposed to do that. So she went to the front to start playing.
Oh.
And so they're both playing Amazing Grace. But neither one of them are quitting.
Oh.
So one would go up and start doing a little bit more, and the other one would go up and start doing it. So we had an absolute, I called it the Battle of the Pianos at church. It was epic.
Oh, that is good. Nobody's told that story. That's really good.
Well, leave it to me, right? You can edit it out if you
No,
want
that sounds
to.
a good story.
That was a good story. All of the youth events, I think, have just been. I like when they used to do the at Christmas. We did it one year.
Yeah,
Progressive dinner.
that's what it is. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we did that even since I've been here. We did that.
Yeah.
Once or twice.
We were one of the host house once.
Yep.
We used to do under Phil. He would do scavenger hunts through the town. They were so
wow.
cool. Phil was the best. I miss that guy. He always had an adventure and just an amazing laugh. I think always the church picnics are fun.
Yeah.
I'll admit I'm not as frequent as she is, so I don't have as many stories. So I hope to. I hope to be here long enough
Well,
to
you
have some.
helped out a bunch with the youth group, and you've been on a lot of the youth outings.
Mhm.
What I also appreciate about the youth group is it's about 2/3 fun and 1/3 service
Yeah.
related.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that.
Yeah, there's a balance in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what are some significant changes that have happened since you've been here?
It's kind of why I like coming.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's always the same. I don't think there have been, people,
Yeah.
but just the overwhelming kindness and love, and the way people treat each other, and the genuine hope for good for everybody in the church, I think, is just always been the same.
So how has St. James impacted your faith walk?
That's a good question for you.
Yeah. So I think the hardest thing for me is growing up Catholic. You get the story, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it is delivered to you bits and pieces along the way, and but being Catholic, it's the view of grace just seems different. When I was Catholic, I felt like I had to earn grace. Through confession, that's how you get the grace back and things like that. And I think that's what pushed me away.
Okay.
And then I started attending this church and started really truly understanding what grace is and how it's given to you, and it can't be taken away.
Right.
And I didn't understand that through any of the other churches that I've tried to go to or anything. And that was probably the biggest eye-opener for me coming here, was to truly understand that I have God's grace.
Right.
And it's allowed me the comfort to start exploring outwardly the faith that I felt inwardly.
Oh, sure.
So I actually, my best buddy of 20 years, good old Army buddy, and I have done some things together, but just a couple weeks ago, him and I celebrated our 20-year anniversary, and we went down to Kentucky I went through Bardstown and did the bourbon distilleries and
Oh,
stuff
sure,
down there.
sure.
But on the drive down there, you know, we started opening up to each other about how we're both on this path to Christ.
Oh,
and
wow.
I never thought in 20 years of knowing my Army buddy, who I've done some very questionable things with before. I never thought that we would spend every morning that we were down there waking up and both doing our readings and then discussing it afterwards. And
That's
then
cool.
before we had our supper at night, we would say a prayer together. And I never thought I would do that with my buddy after 20 years. And I feel like this church had a large impact on me feeling comfortable doing those things,
Good.
which just made me feel amazing.
Yeah. So it's fantastic.
Yeah.
So, what are some hopes that you may have for St. James looking at the future?
I think we hope to be more involved in St. James in whatever capacity, but both of us, I think, are feeling very led to remain or get more involved in the church.
Okay.
But the youth group for me was a big one. I'd love to see
sure.
we have, you know, the right people, the right environment for kids to really thrive here. And I would just love to see the youth group blow up. The national youth gatherings for me were, I mean, you never forget that.
Right. Yeah, those are big. Yeah.
And I just want to make sure that it's available to all kids, and you're going to be so excited when you go. We've talked about it before.
Yeah, they kind of move it around. This year it's in New Orleans. It was in Houston when we went last time, and so I don't know where it's going to scheduled to be at next, but
It's always usually really great places. My sister got to go to Texas, San Antonio, Texas.
oh yeah.
And then mine was in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah, they usually choose hot places in the middle of the summer. I mean,
Yeah.
because they get good breaks and stuff like that. Because
Yeah, we were at Habitat building a house in Georgia.
oh wow,
It was hot.
The humidity. Oh,
Yeah.
in Georgia.
It was
rough. Wow, cool. Anything else about future?
I would love to see the congregation grow.
Yeah.
I don't think people understand how great this place is. I don't think it's out there enough. I think people are missing out. And I would love to see the congregation grow. And I want to help with that somehow. I just don't know yet.
Yeah.
I mean, when they say church family, that's really what you have here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, my wife and our kids have discovered that. I mean, just the reception of being here and everything has been really fantastic. And you're right, every congregation I've ever been in goes, well, we're friendly, and it's like, well, you are, but to who?
Right.
And for most congregations, I think it's not just our denomination. I think it's all is that they're friendly to the people that are there.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But this congregation is genuinely friendly to everybody who walks through the door.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everybody gets greeted, and people tend to come back. It's like, man, these people really, are genuinely concerned about you, and so I think it's a real plus.
Yeah.
I think that's one reason why Liz is coming.
Yeah,
Honestly, I think that's been really big for her. And your wife, I need to mention her too. She's the mom whisperer, I swear. Because there have been times in my life where, I'm one of those people, if I can get it done myself, I'm going to do it myself.
Sure.
But there have been times where she has just said, listen, you need a break with your kids. You bring them to me. I want to take them to ball games and do all this stuff. And it's always just at the right time where I need to hear that there's somebody out there, whether I take her up on it or not, but just that there's somebody who cares. So she's the mom whisperer.
That's cool. Was there anything I didn't ask you or you wanted to talk about that I didn't cover? Or?
I think I'm good.
Do you have anything to say? All right.
I can move the mic over if you want to say
Yeah, you want to say something? All right.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you for coming in.
Yeah.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us for our 75th anniversary talks, and we will see you next week. Peace out.
Walking these streets, shadows fall. lost in a world, echoes call, searching for life, voices true. St. James Church in the heart of the blue. Glorify God, nurture all, share the gospel, hear the call. That is what we do at St. James, breaking chains, singing new names. Pushing through the night, feeling small, seeking the answers stall. Windows of gray, stained with hue, where mission shines through. Glorify God, nurture all, share the gospel, hear the call. That is what we do at St. James, breaking chains, singing new names. Heartbeats pounding, truth revealed in the silence, wounds are healed. Faith in motion, spirits move. In this place we find our groove. In the dark streets, hope we find, unity glowing, love unbind. Hands reaching out,